The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. This is Vinish from WSI ALM. I'm joined with my colleague here, Armando Alas. It's the 25th of November, and we have a pretty exciting webinar lined up for you. A lot of educational stuff in today's webinar, plus an exciting case study that Armando is going to be taking you guys through. And we also know that it is Thanksgiving week in the U.S. For our USICs that are logged on. We'd like to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving in advance from everybody at WSI ALM. Hope you have a safe Thanksgiving. If you're traveling anywhere, be sure to reach there, more importantly, on time, because I know how crazy it gets when it's Thanksgiving and traveling. I hear is Armando Alas.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Again, like Vinish, a pleasure to be here this morning. Definitely wishing all of our U.S. ICs an early happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy with your family and enjoy the food as well.
All right, good stuff. So let's get started here again. The LaunchPad webinar seems to be getting a lot of traction, which is fantastic. It's always good to see a good amount of participation that's taking place in these webinars. We appreciate all the feedback that we get from you so as to make these series even better, because at the end of the day, this series is really for you. It's to educate you with all the latest stuff that's happening in the world of digital marketing, so you can take that information and pass it on to your prospects and your clients. So any feedback that you can give to us, I know we got some fantastic feedback at the convention in Boca about our LaunchPad webinar series, and a lot of ICs expressed an interest as well as appreciation for the information that we provide. And honestly, guys, that's really what keeps us going. That's really what keeps us motivated, is the fact that we can see that this is actually helpful for you and it's making a difference in your local franchise. And that's really what keeps us going. So for the benefit of some of the new ICs that are logged on today, the format that we follow is pretty straightforward. So the first segment of the LaunchPad webinar talks about some of the latest news and articles that are making headlines in the industry. We scan the news sources for you, so you don't have to do the hard work and the due diligence. All the latest news that you should be aware of is encapsulated in this webinar series that takes place every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and we bring the best of the digital marketing industry to you. So we do all the hard work, we filter the news, get the latest news and articles for you. And then the next part of our segment, as far as our LaunchPad webinar is concerned, is a case study. And every week we try and showcase a different case study, whether it's SEO related, PPC related, web development related, mobile related. So every week there's going to be a different study, a case study that's going to be showcased in a different industry vertical that you can use for your prospects. And again, received a lot of good feedback on this. We get a lot of ICs asking us for more information on these case studies, and you can definitely email us so we can send more information over to you for any of the case studies that are touched upon us in these LaunchPad webinars. And then we finish off the series with a Q&A. And this is your opportunity to ask us any questions that you have, whether it's related to the current topics that we've discussed in the LaunchPad webinar today, if it's a burning question that you have about digital marketing in general, or any topic in general that you'd like industry expertise on and our opinion on. The Q&A session is, the segment is where you can bring out any questions. Just put them in the chat box, and we'll take the questions in the order that they're presented to us, and we'll get to your question and give you your answer. All right. So that's a little bit about the overall agenda, again, for the benefit of some of the newer faces that we're seeing that have logged on today. So let's dive right in. So the first news of the week was with reference to Google making their shopping interface even more powerful, and this obviously in sync with Black Friday that's coming up. So this weekend is huge, as everybody knows. The 27th of November is of course Thanksgiving, which is Thursday, and then after that you have Black Friday, which is on the 28th. It is the biggest shopping day online, and there's tons of money that exchanges hands on Thanksgiving, and of course then followed up by Cyber Monday, which is one of the biggest days for shopping on the internet as far as Cyber Monday is concerned. So in keeping in lines with that, Google's added some shopping details for mobile users. So if you're looking for information with reference to any products that you have, then they are now giving you a lot more information than just the product and the image. As you can see, on the right-hand side, you can see that there's a search that's been done for the Lego the Milano, and then you see the the Lego piece obviously come up, and then you can click on see more, and it gives you a lot more information. It's going to give you information on the product itself, so it's going to show you more information related to the product, where you can buy it online. So that's another interesting feature that is now displayed on Google mobile searches. Then which stores have it available nearby, which is an amazingly useful feature. Imagine you're running around, you're trying to look for products or gifts, and now Google's also telling you which store, based on your GPS and your locator and your phone, which store has it available nearby, so you know exactly where you need to go, and the customer reviews that are associated with this particular product. And this is in addition to a lot of other updates that Google's been doing. If you've been following some of our LaunchPad webinars previously, we talked about a couple of updates that they'd done with reference to the in-store inventory. So Walmart and some of the other bigger brands are now displaying their in-store inventory for products in Google itself, so that you can check how many pieces or parts of that particular product are available in that particular store, so you don't waste your time going there. So they're trying to make this whole shopping interface more and more sophisticated, and that just tells us again the importance of mobile, which by now everybody knows you have to have a responsive site, a mobile-friendly site, and if you're not giving the users an amazing experience on their tablets, on their mobile devices, you're definitely losing out. And further on, we have another piece of news related to this whole mobile experience that is huge. And that news item is something that you should definitely be hitting your prospects and your clients with, because it is an amazing upsell opportunity for you to make some incremental revenue. And it makes total sense for the customer. It's not just for making money. It actually is something that's beneficial for them. All right, so stay tuned for that. So that was our first news of the week. And if you continue, there are a couple of Polish ICs. Let me just take a quick look. Yep, there's a couple of Polish ICs that are logged on today in our webinar. And for their benefit, we put this news item in here. We actually work with a couple of Polish ICs as well. So for their benefit, we put this news in here. Google's now starting to take action even in Poland. So they have confirmed a link, an action that they took on a particular link network in Poland. And I'm not going to try and pronounce this name, but okay, let's give it a shot. It's a Google spokesperson. That's Carolina Krasinska. Oh yeah, I got this one. So yeah, Carolina Krasinska confirmed that Google's taken action on a link network that's based out of Poland. And she confirmed that there's been manual action penalties that have been delivered by Google's web spam team, and they've gone after some of these Polish link building networks quite aggressively. Again, they're tightening up the rules. In a lot of these EU nations, it was quite easy to rank for websites in the localized version of Google, whether it's Google Poland, Google Germany, and some of these other European localized versions of Google, just because you'd just be dumping in a bunch of links. I mean, essentially, they were what the North American conditions were in like 2004 and 2005. So they're now getting more and more sophisticated, as just like we are, and getting it tougher and tougher for sites to utilize spammy tactics and rank. So this was some piece of information for our European ICs, something to watch out for, and see how this plays out. All right, so moving to our next news item. Now this is something that's really interesting, and again, this is data that you can use with your prospects and your clients. If you have your regular newsletters that are set up where you're sending out information on a regular basis to your client, your prospects and clients, then this is data that you should definitely be sharing with them. So you have October's Comcast, the ComScore report that recently just came out. And for those that are not aware of what ComScore is, ComScore Media Matrix is a company that is a data company, and they come up with a whole bunch of different relevant data metrics that they report on with regards to digital marketing. And one of the data sets that's hugely watched data set on a month-to-month basis is the percentage of share of search engines in North America. Now this information is specific to the US, and this is tracked on a monthly basis, and everybody waits for this report to come out because it's sort of like an indicator of where your advertising dollars should be really focused on. Where should you be concentrating on based on what you're seeing as far as these search engine market share is concerned, right? So the October report's out, and what we're seeing is that Google's losing a bit of traction, which I'm sure is extremely concerning for Google. They've gone from 67.3 down to 67%. Now in the holistic scheme of things, it's not something that's a massive drop. It's only 0.3%. But the fact of the matter is that Google's not lost market share. They've maintained it for the longest time, and they've seen a slight bit of a slip, which is really interesting to see. And on the other hand, the slip has actually come at the cost of Yahoo, Microsoft, their tie-up, gaining market share. So Google's gone down to 67%, and we've seen a combination of Microsoft and Yahoo that's actually gone up to about 30%. So this Microsoft Yahoo combination is sort of like starting to be a formidable opponent to Google at about 30%. And it's reached a stage where you can't disregard MSN and Yahoo in terms of your advertising strategy. As we mentioned quite extensively, when we're doing advertising on Bing, we're getting a lot of success, and we're getting a better cost per conversion, hands down, than when we advertise for the same keywords in Google. So if you're doing paid advertising, something to take into account. And you're probably seeing this shift even in your analytics. So when you're looking at your analytics data year over year, you'll start seeing that Bing's sending more and more organic visitors to your website, and that isn't happening by a miracle. That's based on the fact that Bing is gaining more and more market share when it comes to search. It's gone up from 9% last year where it was to 19%, which is what it's at today, 19.4% to be exact. And it's mostly come at the cost of Yahoo because the numbers have reversed. Yahoo last year was at about, I'd say around 19%, and now it's down to 10%. So a lot of Bing's gain has come at Yahoo's cost, but the fact of the matter is these guys have a very sort of a close working relationship, and their main rival, or sort of like their combined rival, is Google, and they've sort of like joined hands to fight Google. So it's interesting to see how this search share is kind of playing out, and the fact that Yahoo and Bing should be a core part of your overall digital marketing strategy for your clients. Great. So the other news item that we had was, I'm pretty sure a lot of you know about the effectiveness of the Google Keyword Planner tool. So for the ones that are not aware of what the Google Keyword Planner tool is, it's a tool that shows you it can show you keywords suggestions, it can show you bids, it can show you what your potential clicks are for a certain bid range, lots of useful data, but it's primarily a really powerful, very useful keyword strategy tool for doing some keyword research for your clients in digital marketing. So they've made this tool even more robust. What they now have is they actually have a conversion estimates column in there as well. So once you put in a bid, you put in your daily budgets, you can also now start getting some estimates on total conversions. So what Google's going to do is it's looking at the account's historical conversion data. You can enter in your own conversion rates and conversion values to see how bid changes might potentially impact the estimated conversions, conversion value, etc., etc. You can start playing around with this data, right? And it's going to give you some intuitive data by itself based on what your query is. So you can start getting some good estimations on what the conversion numbers are going to be. So this is another change that Google's done, which is really cool, because one of the things that a lot of us need when we are going into prospect meetings, and a very common question is, great, well, how many conversions can I expect, right? It's a pretty common question. And now the Google Keyword Planner tool can actually showcase what these conversion estimates are going to be that you can then take into your meeting and showcase to your prospects with a bit more confidence as opposed to just guesstimates, right? And utilize the fact that these numbers are coming directly from Google. So this is a pretty useful feature that's been launched by Google, which hopefully should make this tool even better than it already is. Okay, so moving on to our next news item. Again, a couple of news items more with regards to mobile, just because there's a lot happening in the mobile space right now and we want to keep you educated, updated on mobile. So Google's launched a mobile-friendly test tool, and it's a really cool tool that actually shows you whether your website is mobile-friendly or not. Okay, you can access this tool in this link below that we've presented in our slideshow. It's google.com webmasters tools mobile friendly. Let's give you a quick demo of this tool. Okay, so here's the URL, mobile friendly, right? So let's check a couple of URLs. So let's check, WSI Corporate's URL. So it's wsiworld.com. Let's see if it's mobile friendly or not. So all you have to do is just type in the URL and then hit analyze, and this is going to analyze the data set, the actual website in real time for you, and it's going to spit out its analysis. And let's see what comes back for wsiworld.com. And then we do a couple of tests more after this. Very cool tool, pretty accurate, and again, it's coming straight from the horse's mouth, Google, right? So rest assured, the information that they're spitting out in this tool is exactly like how the crawlers are indexing your website. So you definitely have to pay attention to this. Fantastic. So WSI World is mobile friendly, and if it is a mobile friendly website, here's the kind of a message you'll be getting back. Awesome. This page is mobile friendly. How Googlebot sees this page, learn more about Google friendly pages, mobile friendly, and then how do you use Google Webmaster Tools, right? So this is sort of like what they're seeing in terms of WSI World's website. Let's check our own website and see what it says. So we go wsialm.com, that's our corporate URL, and again, do the same thing. You just go to wsialm.com, hit analyze, and it's going to do the analysis right now. Let's see what it comes up with. And this is another effective tool to go into some of your prospect meetings or even your current clients that do not have, that fail this test. Here's Google telling you that you failed as far as your mobile friendly test is concerned for your website. You better act on this, because Google's going to start penalizing sites or essentially not essentially penalize, but give sites that are mobile friendly more preference when it comes to the tablet search results. And I'm going to talk about that in a sec. Oh, great. So our WSILM site, awesome. It's mobile friendly and it's giving us all the information. As you can see, it's responsive too. So based on the tablet that you access our website with, it's going to be generating a responsive version for our website. All right, now let's look at one that we were actually looking at this industry a couple of days back because of one of our clients. They had a few questions. So the site is franchise.com. It's a franchise directory, a franchise consulting directory. So let's look at franchise.com and see if franchise.com is a mobile friendly or not. I just picked it up randomly. We were doing some research on this site a couple of days back, so I figured it'd be a good example. So let's see what Google's data picks up with regards to franchise.com. Doesn't take long to analyze, as you can see. I mean, the analysis is pretty quick. It's running the data, and there you go. It's all done. Wow. Okay, so the result is not mobile friendly, right? And then you can go in and see all the reasons that it says as to why this page is not mobile friendly. Things like the text is too small to read. That's a strict no-no when it comes to tablet and mobile searches. You have to have bigger text, readable text. The links are too close together. This is another major thing for mobile and tablet browsers, because if your links are too close together, you are essentially inhibiting user experience, because the users will find it very difficult to click on the links that they're looking for. The content's wider than the screen, so the users would have to scroll to read your information, which again is something that's not a good visual experience for tablet users and is definitely not a mobile-friendly feature. And your mobile viewport is not set, so the page is not rendering a page, like the site is not rendering a page based on the device that the site's being accessed from. There's no special instructions that are being passed on to the server, the Google server, when somebody is accessing this website from a tablet or a mobile device, right? So when you have a site that does not pass the mobile-friendly test, Google is further on making it even easier for you so as to make your site mobile-friendly. And in this third column, I'm just going to highlight this here. it says make this page mobile friendly. Then actually gives you a whole bunch of different options on what you potentially have done and then what you need to do in terms of making your site mobile friendly. So if you used a CMS to create the site like WordPress or Joomla, you hit on next and it's going to actually give you instructions on what you need to do in order to customize your website and make it user friendly, mobile friendly. So like for example, let's say the site was built in WordPress. I can click in WordPress and now it gives you all your instructions on how to make your site mobile friendly. Pretty cool, huh? Like they're definitely giving us a lot of information on making sites mobile friendly and all these different options, right? Someone built this site for me. What are you supposed to do then? I built this site by myself. Okay, great. What am I supposed to do then? So whenever you're faced with a situation where the site's not mobile friendly, this is beautiful. Take a screenshot of this, dump it in your presentation that you're giving to your prospect or your client, pitch them a mobile friendly, a responsive website. The internet's moving to responsive, so this is a great upsell and some quick revenue for you based on obviously the client's budgets. All right, so great. So we wanted to demo this tool for you. It's pretty cool, and in line with this demo is something else that we wanted to touch base upon today on this webinar, which is Google experimenting with special rankings for mobile-friendly websites. So Google's come out with a few different features in terms of how they are potentially handling mobile-friendly websites. So for example, if you haven't seen this, it's probably going to start coming up quite often now, is when you search for a site on your tablet, and if the site is not mobile friendly, you'll basically get a tablet icon next to that site with a cross against it. That essentially means that this site is not mobile friendly. Don't waste your time looking at it because it's not a mobile friendly website, right? So in lines with some of these changes that Google's doing, Google also mentioned in one of their posts that they recently did that these labels that I just talked about are the first step in helping mobile users have a better mobile experience. We're also experimenting with using the mobile-friendly criteria as a ranking signal. So soon enough, I mean, if they're putting this out there, soon enough, if you have an X across your website in the actual search rankings, you would essentially be, in other words, penalized because other sites that do have mobile-friendly options are going to be ranked ahead of your website, especially for searches that are taking place from tablets and other devices, except for desktops. And all the data points to the fact that tablets are going to be the number one methodology or sort of like the medium, sort of not essentially the methodology, but the medium in order to access the internet. And the shift is happening even now. I would say that on an average 30 to 35% of all the searches that are taking place for any of your clients' websites are coming in from mobile searches, right? So something again to take into account, and this is data that you arm yourself with and really try and push for those upsells with your clients and try and impact your revenue generation, because again, this is all the data is pointing in the direction of mobile friendly. Great. So Armando's got a great article that he wanted to showcase today on this webinar that's published by QuickSprout on influencing purchasing decisions. So over to you, Armando. Armando, you there?
Thank you, Anish. Just wanted to do a bit of a sound test. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep, all good.
Okay, excellent. Yep. So basically, wanted to share this interesting article from Neil Patel's QuickSprout blog. The reason I chose this is because he has a very nice infographic that I know that I see sometimes in presentations, PowerPoint presentations that you're proposing to your clients. You want to show some data, some information, and Neil Patel is pretty good at doing this. So I kind of chose this as a marketing material. And this specific one is for any clients that you may have or prospects that are targeting the millennials in specific, that whole segment of the market. Basically, this is a very good infographic that you can kind of screen capture and put in your presentations. So it talks about how to influence purchase decisions. So basically, you can click on the image if you want and make it stand on its own. You can do a little bit of photoshopping, etc. So that way you can kind of use this for your next presentation. And if you don't mind, sorry, just scrolling down, I just wanted to kind of start talking a little bit about it. And like I said, it's really geared toward the millennial generation, 1977 to 1995. I didn't make the cut this time by by a year, so I'm not a millennial, I guess. But it talks about the fact that the millennials will have spent by 2020 about $1.4 trillion per year. So definitely, it's a market that B2C primarily should be very focused on. And if you go down some of the key stats that he mentions that I think would be very good for presentation, specifically this one, the breakdown by media types of what the millennials are doing today. For example, if you look at it, 20% of them are browsing the internet, 80% are doing social networking. Okay, if you look on the fourth row, email, texting, and chatting is only 6%, and that's interesting. And only 3% are reading print magazines or newspapers, right? So, as a matter of fact, they're putting a lot of effort more on researching and browsing online. So that's really definitely something that you should add to your presentations. And what are they talking about? So basically, when they did a whole survey by Nielsen survey across 58 countries, these are the three sources of advertising that they're most trusted. What are they? What do they trust? So obviously, word of mouth, very important. Branded websites, okay, and your reviews, online consumer opinions, right? So as this market, this audience continues to grow and pretty much expand in the next few years, I would even say starting 2015 and on, it's very important that as a marketeer, we listen to the trends and consult our clients on how to appropriately do that. So again, reviews are very important. Online consumer opinions is very important. 68% of them are actually listen to that. And if you go and scroll down, another stat. Just keep scrolling. Yeah. This tells you this is very key again. What are they using? What is it that helps them make their decision? If you just scroll a little bit up, Vinish, it talks about three main sources that affect. It really helps them make their decisions, and in this case, user-generated content. Okay, so this is very important. Blogging, guest blogging, reviews. Opinions, polls, etc. Anything that has to be affected by content that the user is either themselves are writing it, or they look to other sources online for expertise. And this is where your SEO authority, your Google authority, your author authority also it's very key, because 53% of them will get influenced by that. So very important, again, to tell your clients, if you're not writing proper content on your website, if you're not advising your customers or your consumer base, there you're taking a loss. Traditional media, 44%, banner ads, 23%. So interesting stat. Now if you go down, now please, Vinish, if you just scroll down, so these are the things that you see, the breakdown of type of user-generated content, conversations with friends and family. Where do most people have these conversations? Well, they have them on Facebook, sometimes on Twitter, but you will see them on Facebook, Pinterest, etc. Peer reviews, okay, very important. Email, text, G-chat with friends, family. Again, it's very important. Right, so you can definitely blogs, bulletin boards. So as you can see, this generation is really affected by other people's opinions on specific things. If they want to go to the movies, if they want to go purchase a new winter jacket, this is how they get influenced. And here, this is also very important. I always mention in my webinars about storytelling. The whole scenario of storytelling is very powerful. Vinish and I were at a meeting a few weeks ago, and we were working with an IC in a presentation, and we actually talked about the whole issue with BMW Germany, a while back when they got deranked, delisted, and that case study obviously was a general case study that's out there in the market in the internet world, but people don't know. The client was really impressed by the fact that we were able to kind of talk about some stories. So here you can actually use these case studies for your sales presentations, right? And talk about what Ford did, for example, to take advantage of this. Also, in this case, what did they do and what was the result? So very brief snippets of information. If you go down again, you'll see another case study by, I think this is by Verizon, okay, and also by J. Crew, which is a clothing store. So again, we will have the URL for this infographic. So very, very good for your prospects that are targeting this industry, and definitely, it's a really good. I mean, here just within this presentation, you can pretty much with this infographic, you can do a nice little PowerPoint presentation if you are pitching to a client that's targeting this market, specific target audience. If you go down, Vinish, I think this is I think that was it, but yeah. So again, Quick Sprout, great reference. I always like to tell ICs, look, if you're looking for some quick information there, look at their infographics. They're really good. But Vinish will post the link on here on the chat. And as a matter of fact, this was given to us by an IC. So again, thank you for passing on that information. Now, if you move on to the next one, I just wanted to kind of get into the case study.
Great. Sorry, Armando. I just wanted to add the fact that we'd also be adding this on K2 as well. So you can take a look at the presentation on K2. You can also access our LaunchPad webinars on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/WSI ALM. So you can also access all of our LaunchPad webinars on our YouTube channel. Go ahead, Armando.
Okay, thanks, Vinish. Excellent. So today's case study is it's a bit of a short case study. I know obviously because of the long weekend and sorry, not the long weekend, the Thanksgiving holiday. I just wanted to bring a bit of a short case study, a bit of a reflection when working with clients and what needs to happen. And I've talked, Vinish and I have talked a little, quite a bit about this throughout our presentations in regards to working with clients and their goals and objectives. So here we have a website, avlinks.inc.com. Basically, they're an IT specialist. So if you want to, if you want to use this for this industry, you feel free to let us know, and I will send you the information. But basically, they focus on data, voice, business phone systems, wireless, fiber. Very good company, very professional. They deal with different brands, and they're pretty well optimized. Right now, I will tell you that one of the challenges that we had when we were working with this client was really making sure that we could kind of get the goals from the client in advance to work with them, because clients have a lot of expectations, and I often hear when I'm going into support sales calls where the prospect is talking about, well, I want, what are your goals? Well, my goals are to increase my brand, lead generation, and Google rankings. So they basically want everything, and not every medium that we work, or digital marketing medium that we work with, always works for their needs. So sometimes a combination of different things. So if you want brand awareness and you want it very explosive, very fast, you may be thinking about a PPC campaign with remarketing, or maybe even online media buying, right? SEO is not going to give you that short term. Long term, yes, it will help you develop a strong presence, but that's long term. So in this case, the client, we're primarily working on an SEO project, and he had all these expectations about what he wanted his SEO campaign to do for him. And sometimes, as sales professionals, consultants, we forget to get those goals and objectives from the beginning. even when you're doing your preliminary IBA or your actual IBA, try to get those and dig deep. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth, but if you can get that information, A, you're identifying pain, right? B, you're also going to, that's going to help you set up your message for your presentation and your proposals, and obviously managing the client. So one of the challenges that we had with this was that we failed, and we are all humans. We failed to definitely get this, grab this information from the client. So we ran the campaign for quite a few months, and I will tell you, we were failing. We weren't doing great. The campaign was not. We weren't ranking. We weren't getting the results. He wasn't happy. The client wasn't happy because we weren't getting the results. We had problems communicating with the client. He was also perhaps not spending enough time with us to relay information so we could do a better job. So we had a conversation. We had to sit down. We were very honest with them, and basically this was at the time that he was going to be renewing. And he goes, look guys, you guys are great guys, but you know what? I'm not getting the results. I'm thinking of shifting my money into another medium because I'm not getting anything from SEO. So what we did was, you know what? We sat down. We said, listen, Mr. Customer, give us 3 months, right? To see if we can turn this campaign around, and then you'll make this decision on whether to continue further, right? So because we've already done some SEO, we had done some structure, so it's not like we were starting from scratch. We knew and we believed that if we were to push a little bit harder in the right direction with the client's feedback, we would be able to get him some results. And he was very keen, like many clients, on his keyword rankings. But at the same time, if he wanted to focus on branding, he wanted to focus on lead generation. So we had to break it down with them, and we had to set up objectives with them, goals and objectives, to make sure that we could work with them. And one of the key things the goals that we established with them was to start with realistic and achievable goals. You want to set yourself also and the client for success, and not for you're trying to reach for unrealistic goals that it's going to take longer just because you want to sell them. That's not the right approach. You're not helping the client, and you're not helping yourself. So what we did in this at our meeting with them to try to renew his SEO contract was to really focus on his goals and objectives, and he was going to give us 3 months to deliver results. Okay, so we set these up. So number 1, phone calls. He wanted to have 1 to 3 each month, right? Even though clients are more likely to email than call, so the goal was to have 1 to 3 phone calls in each month. So one of the key things that we developed was a spreadsheet so we could track this, and we can't track that. He will have to track it, and we actually held him accountable that at the end of the month he was going to send us a report to do that. So that was number 1. Emails. Again, he gets a lot of inquiries through his forms and via emails. So again, we decided that we're going to have 3 or 4 emails each month. And I can tell these are, because of the nature of his business, even though the numbers may look very small, for him, if he was able to get 3 to 4 emails, he was very confident of converting them into customers. So he was looking for quality, not quantity. Okay, very important. He's not looking for 10 calls. He's not looking for 20 submissions a month. He was looking for quality because of the nature of the business. One new client, could definitely bring in $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year in revenue. So for him, it was really about the quality. Then we talked about the SEO strategy. Okay, so let's look at the Google keyword rankings. We did some changes to the campaign. Okay, and just within the first month, we were out of the 20 keywords that we had kind of revised with the client, we actually are currently ranking 4 on the first page already on the first month, just because we made some twitches, a different focus, a different approach with the team in 30 plus days to make sure that we were able to get that. Again, working with the client, it's okay to revise your keywords, because if you're going after keywords where you're hitting yourself against the wall and you're not getting any results, don't wait till 12 months to change the keywords. Typically every 4 months at ALM, or every 6 months, we're making these changes and suggestions to those accounts that are not working. So again, we changed 10 keywords, and we started to get some traction. Google organic traffic, again, very consistent. We set benchmarks, 10% increase in traffic on a month-to-month basis, and in the first month we achieved 16%. Okay, again, achievable goals. You want to show results. Going back to the beginning, the challenges is really educating the client on setting achievable goals. Number one, sit down with them, try to get them. I know it's a bit of a headache trying to get this and understanding the mind of the client, but that's where you become a trusted advisor. Now, you may not be able to become a trusted advisor in the beginning because the relationship is working, but after 3 or 4 months of working with your client, you should be able to kind of know where his head is at and what he's looking to achieve. Communication, very key. Very specific. We had failed because we never kind of probed them, and it was until after we were about to renew the contract that we figured out, he wasn't happy. So again, try to keep communicating with your client, test the waters, feel him out, see how you can assist him, get him, get involved in his business in the sense that you want to understand what's going on. And another challenge was really managing expectations. Like I said in the beginning, he wanted branded, lead generation, he wanted SEO rankings. So be very specific in their goals and managing their expectations of results. Lessons learned, goal setting and objectives from the beginning. Very important. Educating the client between the differences of campaign results and what he's looking at, right? All those things are very important. And you know what is also good? Be comfortable in sharing with your client small wins. Low-hanging fruit, quick wins. So obviously we still have 2 more months, and I'll be reporting probably in 2 months about this account to kind of let you know how the trial went. But once we were able to start getting him some results, like I said, in his organic and getting a couple of phone calls and emails, now he's a little bit more confident. He feels more confident about the campaign. We're regaining his trust as his consultants. So we were able to share this small quick wins. Obviously he's holding us accountable, but at the same time, he sees that we're doing our best to make sure that we hit those goals from our end. So I just wanted to share this case study with you. It's a little bit different. I'm not kind of sharing all the specific graphs and stats, but it goes down to working with your clients and also being able to manage their expectations. So I'm not sure, Vinish, if you have a couple of thoughts there on this specific campaign. I know that you and I discussed it before, and you kind of helped us with this, but it's one of the common things that we have to sometimes work with our clients in managing their expectations and setting their goals and objectives from the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely, Armando, and I think, that's terrific. You covered this case study quite well. If I had to add anything, is the fact that it's very important to set these goals with your clients straight off the bat, and if you don't know what these goals potentially are, then you should be asking your suppliers, your production centers that you're working with to set these goals for these campaigns, and then establish these metrics with the client so that at the end of the day, everybody knows what the success metric is. And if we are hitting these goals on a month-to-month basis, then the client knows that the amount that they're investing is going in the right areas, and it is reaping the rewards that we're looking for, and then is continually reinvesting back in the marketing medium that's generating him the returns that he's looking for, right? And one of the things also to do is to keep a handle on what the client's marketing budget is and where else is he spending his money, because potentially he's not spending it all on digital. There's other traditional, maybe offline methods that he's spending his money on. And once he sees the goals and objectives being hit on a regular basis with the digital marketing activity, your goal as the IC is to start taking some of the funds away from his offline activity, because you can prove to him that the online spend, when you divert the funds from offline to online, they're going to generate equivalent or better results. And they're definitely more measurable than offline, so why wouldn't you want to allocate more funds towards online, right? And this is also in line with the big shift that we'd announced a couple of weeks back in our LaunchPad webinar, where for the first time in 2018, TV is going to be the second most popular advertising medium, and finally digital is going to be at the top, where digital's potentially expected to bring in $109 billion in revenue as compared in advertising dollars, as compared to TV that's going to go down to 89 billion. So 2018-19 is the year where this whole shift is going to happen, and officially digital is going to be the #1 advertising medium where companies spend the most amount of money. And this is, again, these are data sets that we arm ourselves with when we go into meetings and we educate our customers on it. So a terrific case study, Armando. Thank you so much. Just a little bit about us, and again, we finish off our LaunchPad webinar by just telling you a little bit about us, and based out of Toronto, of course. and some of our clients, some of our service offerings. Again, a full service agency, so if you have any requirements when it comes to any of the digital marketing mediums that you're looking for assistance in, please do definitely get in touch with us. Do not hesitate. You can either shoot Armando an email at armando@wsilm.com or just shoot us an email at info@wsilm.com, and we can definitely be in touch with you and help you. Great. So that was our Launchpad webinar for the week. Let me see. There's a couple of questions here. So I'm going to take these questions. Okay, so one of the questions on the case study, absolutely, just shoot us an email and we can definitely send you across more information on the case study. Yes, the presentation is going to be recorded. It is being recorded and it's going to be put up on our YouTube channel, which is WSI here. I'll actually take you to our YouTube channel right now so you can take a look at it. So you go to youtube.com/WSILM. And all of our webinars are all archived over here in our YouTube channel. And wanted to showcase a really cool thing that's happening on YouTube. So if you go on YouTube and you type in adaptive SEO, which is something that we are pushing quite aggressively in the network, you can see that our video is the top video out there, right below the ads. Organically, it's ranking #1. So just a little bit about what we could potentially do on the video SEO side of things. Our animated adaptive SEO video is ranking #1 right now and has, gained a lot of views. So pretty excited about that. Just wanted to share that little bit of information. Awesome. Terrific. I think that's all the questions for this week. Once again, the USICs have a terrific Thanksgiving. We hope to see you next week on Tuesday. And for all the other ICs out there, have a fantastic week. And this is Vignesh and Armando signing off from Toronto. Take care.